what we need to do is look, where is this homelessness coming from? What are the causes of homelessness? And when you really look at those people who are homeless, there are a couple reasons. 3 probably major reasons. One is alcohol addiction. Another is other kinds of drug addiction. They can't stay with their families. They can't get jobs. They don't have vehicles. And they just live moment to moment to either their next alcohol or their next drugs. We have another contingent that's probably the most sad, and that's mental illness. There are so many people that clearly have mental illness that live on the streets. So we moved away from having institutional treatment for the mentally ill, in order for them to be sort of more free and not so confined. And although that's good in principle, that has left a gap in who helps these folks. So when you look at the proportion of homelessness that's caused by these 3 factors, it tells us there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So what we have in Clark County is a program where part of the sales tax, we're only one of a few counties in the state that are allowed to do this. A portion of the sales tax that's collected in Clark County, we are allowed to, they either remit it back to us or it doesn't get forwarded. This is the mental health sales tax. So the portion of the sales tax is allowed to be kept in Clark County for the treatment, and the mental health sales tax is used for treatment programs for alcohol addiction, for drug addiction, and it's being used for mental health. So that's a complex system because that system involves usually where law enforcement intervention comes about with one of these folks. And through law enforcement, we identify it's not just a minor criminal act. There are these other problems that exist. So what we have developed, and Mark Bolt started this, he was on the leading edge of this years ago, and I'm proud to say, when I was at the City of Vancouver, I served on behalf of the City of Vancouver on the original Mental Health Sales Tax Committee. So I'm back on the executive committee for that now as a county councilor. And what we're doing is funding programs that aid the mentally ill, that aid drug addiction, and that aid other kinds of chemical, including alcohol addiction. And to keep people from being confined in jail when in fact this is a sickness. Mm-hmm. So, yes, sometimes it's a self-induced sickness, mm-hmm. but it is, these people are ill, mm-hmm. and particularly the people who are mentally ill, nobody asks for that. That is just so heartbreaking to see people who are in such trouble, and it's important to get them to a mental health court so that they can be diverted, they can be helped with medication, they can be helped with housing, because those people in many cases need emergency housing, immediate housing. They need to be in a more protected atmosphere. So then we look at the addiction system. We do the same thing. So here's how it works. Somebody gets arrested, they go to court, and they have a choice. If they've done something less than a big felony, and the cause of that is drug addiction, and they're stealing to support their drug habit, they have a choice. You can go to jail now, or you can agree to go into a treatment program, which is very stiff, strong standards, and it's through the court system. You can comply with this. You can get regular testing. You can get job training. You can complete your education. It's your choice. Which do you choose? Well, mostly people choose to get healthy. They mostly choose to get better. And so we're going to help them with that. And we do a lot of that. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be adding some funding for some newer programs that, and these are mostly nonprofits. And we look for people that have a record of achievement in their programs, who have a success ratio, although that's difficult to measure. So what we need to remember about alcohol addiction and drug addiction, many people need multiple terms of treatment. They're addicted, they get well, they start getting stable, they go out with that same group of friends, they're participating in drug activity again, they get hooked again, and then they're back into that syndrome. We have to understand that for certain kinds of addiction, they need repeat programs. They need to frequently repeat programs. And if that's a person in your family, you understand that if they become addicted again, if they go back to the old ways, they need treatment again. And I know families get so overwhelmed by that. It may take 2 or 3 times, but it's never a waste of time. It's always important. And so we have to understand the nature of addiction with humans. And that is the recurrence of it is common. So it costs a lot of money. So one thing that the county does, people say, well, we work with the city, but we work with the city as a service provider. So we help provide the funding. It's not just people who live in unincorporated Clark County. This is for the people that live in any city who have problems and go through the Clark County court system. This is for all the jurisdictions, including Vancouver. So when we're challenged, well, why aren't you helping Vancouver? We help Vancouver residents all the time with all of our programs. We don't say you can't live in Vancouver. So, you know, these are joint programs, joint solutions, joint